So, folks, it's finished. Wolves won. Tottenham won. It's Dave from Talking Wolves, giving my thoughts after this evening's game at Molineux. Hope you guys are keeping well and safe, and hopefully you had a very decent Christmas period. Of course, another game to go in a couple of days' time, so it was going to be always quite interesting seeing how Nuno set this team up. And other than the guys that were injured, it was pretty much what you'd expect a full-strength team. So, Patricio starting in goal. We saw a back four today, quite interestingly, of Marcel, Saiss, Cody and Semedo. Neves and Moutinho in the middle, with Podence, Adama, Neto and Fabio Silva all starting. And unfortunately, we saw Bolly obviously in the box with Jimenez and Johnny and Dendoncker in there as well. So Wolves have got a couple of injury issues at the moment. It's probably the most senior players that I can remember being out injured for a long time, especially since Nuno's come in, really. So it's always going to be difficult with that. And I thought, the formation we set up with, Nuno obviously knew how Tottenham were going to start off with. And it's just disappointing that we conceded that goal, isn't it? Less than a minute in, and Ndombele scores. I don't know who you can blame, really. We shouldn't have given away the corner initially anyway, where the goal came from, half cleared, and Ndombele hits it. And there's always been that very soft question mark over Patricio's positioning and stuff at times, but he comes through a crowd of players, and he sees it very, very late, I think, and straight away, when you're playing up against a team in the top six and you give them a head start after 60 seconds, it's always going to be a long and tough evening. The game seemed... I actually enjoyed watching the game itself. It did seem to be quite a long game. It wasn't one of those games that just zipped by. But Wolves have plenty of the ball. But I think it's just that one big roadblock at the moment, which has been the case since day one, really, under Nuno. We just find it very, very difficult to break teams down when they sit deep. And that's teams that are down at the bottom of the league, let alone teams with established defences in midfield like your Tottenham Hotspurs. So it was a vintage Mourinho performance, really. I don't know if we expected anything less. Before the game, you probably would have said to Wolves, if you can stop Son and Kane, you'll get something out of the game. And I think that's what we did, to be fair. Other than Kane moaning a little bit, I can't remember him or Son having a positive moment in the game for Spurs, really. And I think that happened last season and the season before. We isolated and stopped Harry Kane very, very well. So, a point overall is not a bad result for Wolves. The first half was okay. We had a couple of promising moments, a couple of half chances for Daniel Podence. The best chance was Fabio Silva's at the near post. I'm sure that there'll probably be some people that have watched small cameos of that game and small moments of that game that are probably going to give Fabio Silva some stick. But when you see his progression from his first game here to now, I think you can see he's slowly and still maturing as a player. He's still very raw in parts of his game, but he's getting himself about a little bit more, looks really sharp, getting himself in the right areas and positions, and it just needs that one click and he's going to start firing. And we saw right at the end of the game, could have been a hero, could have been having his statue built outside Molineux, maybe not that far, but he could have been the hero with a header in the last moments there. But that first half chance, possibly with a more established striker, with your Raul Jimenez's or with your likes of Luka Jovic, who's been rumoured and linked with Wolves, maybe they would be putting those chances away. But the other elements of his game, the link-up play, there were moments of the game where he's beating the big Tottenham defenders and holding up the ball fantastically. So I'm really happy with his progression and development in just a short space of time. And that first team football is going to give him that. The only thing missing from today's performance of him was a goal. But going into half-time at 0-0, I think the longer the game went on at 1-0, the longer the game went on at 1-0, I think Tottenham would have been satisfied with it because they were obviously stopping Wolves from doing their thing. But I've not checked the possession stats. I'd assume for the most part of the game we had much higher possession than Spurs. And we gave their defence things to think about. Unfortunately, it was very almost one-dimensional at parts from Wolves because Adama Traoré was picking up the ball a lot, and he was a little bit, for me, he was a little bit less urgent than some of the other players. We had urgency at times, whereas Adama today was just getting the ball in the right areas, but just being a little bit slow about it, not making a decision quick enough. And by that time, you've got 2 or 3 defenders on him, making it quite difficult for him to do his thing. So, I maybe just wanted a couple of those things to be a little bit quicker. I thought Ndombele really did well for Spurs in the first part of the game. Of course, he got that goal, but That's everything Wolves need. A big physical midfielder that can be quick and just get the ball from one box to the other. And we saw that. I think Pedence lost the ball, and Reguilon had the chance in the end. But Ndombele picks that ball up and just drives it past 3 or 4 Wolves players and creates a really good chance for Spurs. And Wolves are screaming out for something like that, especially in games like today. But we got our reward in the end. We had to be patient again. We tested Spurs quite well, and finally we got the chance from a set piece as well. We had a few corners today, mixing it up a little bit. I know a lot of people were moaning about the short corners last time out. We saw a couple more of those today, but I think we were doing okay, getting them in the right sort of areas. But finally we get a goal, near post flick on Romain Saiss. No one on the post for Spurs, fully deserved as well. That's what you want. And I suppose it goes back to Adama, who won it, to be fair. I know I've moaned about him a little bit there, but even if he's not getting those crosses in, he's getting into the right areas to win your set pieces, to win your free kicks as well. And obviously that doesn't get shown on a stat sheet, corners won. But Adama did that a lot today, and only one of those has to come off for Wolves to have a successful evening. I think you can call it a successful evening, the fact that we've got 1 point out of this game. But I think we need to build on this now and get something against Manchester United. If we can get 2 points from these 2 games at least, that's fantastic. A win and 4 points, even better. And what a Christmas period that would be for Wolves. But in terms of individual performances, like I said, Fabio Silva, although he didn't get his name on the goal sheet, had 2 good opportunities today. That header right at the death was one of them. I felt, we could have got something out of the game. I've not mentioned the penalty shout as well. You've seen them given, haven't you? It's soft, and I had a couple of people tweet me about it. It's soft, but it's almost as if VAR are checking it. Is it Liverpool? No. Is it Manchester United? No. Is it Chelsea? No. Is it Arsenal? No. Is it Man City? No. Is it Spurs? No. All right, it's not a penalty then. If it was yes to any of those questions, it would have got given. You've seen them for far softer in the league this weekend and this season in general. So I'm very surprised it wasn't given. And obviously Daniel Pedence was booked for his protests on that as well. But yeah, just individual performances. I was worried about the Moutinho-Neves combo at first. I felt, and I said it on the preview, we needed someone a bit more physical in there. But I felt they did an okay job. Moutinho at times a little bit sloppy, but Neves, there were times where he made mistakes, but won the ball back. And he really worked hard. He had a couple of shots on target today as well, which is good to see him getting in those sort of areas again. And I thought the back four did well. Cody made one little error, which led them in, and obviously he got a booking for that. But I thought Nelson did well, getting involved. Saiss obviously gets the goal. And just everyone in general put in a shift today and did the right things. Daniel Pedence, some of the flicks and him on the ball, and Neto as well driving forward. I felt everyone made a contribution today. And well-deserved point. Possibly, we saw Otasawi come on. Possibly, maybe wanted to see the likes of Theo Corbiano, who's doing so well for the 23s. I've been beating this drum for the last couple of weeks. And I think games like today, when he could pick up the ball and sort of run at them a little bit, could have been perfect for him. But obviously, we didn't see that. But maybe Nuno has got one eye on the game in just 2 days' time against Manchester United. But guys, 1-1 in the end. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Is it 1 point gained for Wolves? I think so. Or is it 2 points dropped? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Be sure to hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And I'll be back in the next day or so with the Manchester United content, the preview and the review and the fans' reaction for the United game and the Spurs game coming up on the channel. But until next time, enjoy the rest of your evening. And I'll see you all very, very soon.